depression. And there's a ton I could say about those 3 years, but in terms of how it relates to this conversation, when I had those things removed from me and stripped away, I began to realize how important they were. You know, I'd taken those things for granted. I'd taken my ability to be active. I'd taken just an ability to go for a hike for granted. You know, something that I kind of viewed as like, whatever, you know, hike's not like, it's got to go somewhere, you know, and also just being in beautiful places, you know, like, I was living in Virginia at the time, but, you know, the ability to like go out west, or the ability to enter into these harder to get to places, I missed tremendously, you know, and I missed the activity. Yeah. And I'd say throughout that 3 years, I mean, that was one of the things that just kept me like fighting, you know, rather than just giving up and being like, well, I guess this is just how life's going to be. You know, keeping on fighting was in a large part like just my love that I felt for those things. And I was really say like discovered, you know, just how important they were to me. And
can I stop you for a second? Because there's just like, I'm feeling this thing, like, I love how you said that, like, this is what kind of carried there was a fight in you. And it was like, you know, these challenges, physical challenges, and the depression, and these things that were trying to grab a hold of you, but you had this fight in you that wanted to get back to, specifically what I heard was like the hiking and like just being in the beautiful places. But like, can I ask you about that like that fight and what was behind that fight? Cause I'm thinking there's like, you know, this light that really wants to emerge and beat these physical forces that are trying to keep you down.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, even though there were many times where I felt hopeless, there was still, it was like a little, you know, candle of hope burning inside me, where it wasn't completely dead. And, you know, I had like certainly some friends and community in that time are really important to me. Just when I felt like, you know, I couldn't go on, or that I just was like, you know, kind of wanting to give up, and they'd give, you know, some words of encouragement, or just be somebody to listen. You know, at times, like, they didn't give advice, or they obviously couldn't fix me, but just being somebody I could vent to, you know, was like really helpful. And so yeah, I mean, I'd say it was, you know, probably just like a God-given piece of hope that kept me pushing forward, you know. And it certainly wasn't always easy. And I certainly didn't always feel like I was pushing forward, you know, but yeah, I just kind of had this stubbornness of like, I'm not going to just accept that this is how my life is going to be.
I love that. So when somebody calls me out for being stubborn, I'm just going to refer back to that. What you just said. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry. So heading back to this sort of the kind of tail end of this 3-year period where you're sort of coming out the other side.
Yeah. So yeah, probably a few months, you know, I didn't know it at the time, but a few months before there was kind of this big breakthrough, I watched a documentary series by Ken Burns. It's on PBS, or was on PBS, but I think it's called America's Best Idea, or America's Greatest Idea. And it's a 10-part documentary series about the creation of the national parks.
Oh, nice.
And so I've always loved history, you know, so there's like history and definitely learning in that, but the cinematography and the soundtrack is just like fabulous and really moves you. You know, I mean, Ken Burns is like a famous, you know, documentary guy.
Right.
He's good at what he does, and undoubtedly, like, it moves you and inspires you to get out and see these national parks, to realize like what a unique idea they were back when they were, you know, started. And I remember watching that 10-part series, just like riveted. And I mean, I was in pain at the time. I have this clear memory of laying on my back because it hurt too much to sit. And so just laying on my back on the floor, watching, you know, on my TV, watching this documentary series. And there was, you know, in that particular moment, and there were probably a couple other moments, but I just seen the beauty, you know, portrayed through the cinematography just moved me to tears. And I just remember like telling myself, when I get healthy, or if I get healthy, you know, I'm going to see these places.
I welcome you guys back on here. If you're new, consider subscribing, liking, and also share this video. So, according to the information we are gathering, Andrew Cross's obituary has been released, but of course, no funeral updates have been made yet. And of course, quickly to look back on what you've just watched, there was a video that was released just last year when Andrew Cross talked about, his depression and how it led him to pursue his purpose, of traveling, of discovering archaeological sites, of, moving in the various deserts, and of course, shooting the content, shooting the content he was shooting. So the obituary that we've just seen said that it's with great sadness we announce the passing of Andrew Martin Cross of Grand Junction, Colorado. He went to be with the Lord, surrounded by family and friends, about a month after suffering severe brain trauma. Well taken from us too soon. He's 36 years. Andrew lived more life than many, and of course got to experience life in general. And he was man of great integrity, very, very adventurous, playful, a wise spirit. And of course, as the son of a U.S. Marine, he moved frequently in his early years, developing a love for God, history, and of course outdoors. Andrew was a graduate of Stafford High School, Virginia, and Virginia Polytechnic University, and he received his Masters of Divinity from the Regent University, Virginia, in 2015. And after receiving that university master's in 2015, he was ordained. He pastored the youth at the Beach Fellowship Church in Virginia Beach for nearly 6 years, and then moved west to become a wilderness guide, helping others find purpose and connection in the outdoors. He served at Solid Rock Outdoor Ministries in Lamari, Wyoming, and Legacy Treatment Center in Utah. Andrew found who he called his puzzle piece and best good friend, Evelyn Rakowski, that is the wife, who actually came out and revealed that he had been taken off the life support just a couple of days ago. So he started his YouTube channel, The Desert Drifter, and of course exploring the rugged beauty and history of the West, which grew close to almost 500,000 subscribers. Of course, we are still waiting for the funeral and memorial service updates, but of course, you can make contributions in honor, to the Solid Rock Outdoor Ministries. The link has been provided in the description of this very, very video. But of course, you can check it out still on the internet to find the right link so that you avoid scammers. Rest in power, King. And of course, we'll be coming out to give you more information with regards to Andrew Cross.